The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. It's been almost a week since Governor Greg Abbott said diversity and inclusion should not play a role in hiring at state agencies, colleges, and universities. That move has outraged some here in the state of Texas. The Texas Legislative Black Caucus plans to fight this move by the governor. Now it begins Tuesday morning with some heavy hitters at a press conference in Austin. We catch up with State Representative Ron Reynolds at his battle plan.
Representative Reynolds, you guys are not going to let this no diversity in Texas issue just die and go, right?
Absolutely not, Isaiah. I'm chair of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus, and we are fired up. We are partnering with other allies who are equally as fired up, the Texas State NAACP, the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, other caucuses as well. We are going to speak truth to power, and we will not go idly by just letting Governor Abbott do this without a fight.
Now, what we're looking at with his order to department heads, that would not only impact state agencies, but also colleges and universities under the state of Texas, right?
That is correct.
And
yeah.
Essentially, what is he telling them they cannot do?
He's telling them essentially that they cannot use diversity, equity, and inclusion as a factor for hiring. In other words, don't take into consideration that they may be African American, Hispanic, or Asian, or gender, or LGBTQ, or have a disability. Don't take any of that into consideration when hiring, trying to achieve diversity, trying to basically level the playing field from many past practices of discrimination. Even if they have an all-white workforce, don't consider diversity when hiring.
Now, a state representative, I think, out of Lubbock is also pushing a bill with this in it as well, right?
That is correct. There's a representative, I think it's Tepper, it's a freshman, correct.
And what is his bill saying that would be any different from what Governor Abbott is saying in his order?
His bill is saying there should be no funding from the state from any, like, for example, the state has funding for departments that help with these kind of initiatives. And he said there should be no state funding at universities or anywhere for that matter for this purpose. And we believe that this is another part, quite frankly, of the MAGA movement. We believe that they're trying to cater to the far right, just as Governor DeSantis is doing in Florida. Governor Abbott couldn't let him one-up him. This is really, that's all it is. I've talked to people from universities, and they are really troubled by this. Texas is a majority minority state. They are trying to help bring more diversity and inclusion into this space. Traditionally, they have not had diversity. So they're trying to right some wrongs, and Governor Abbott is on the wrong side of this issue. There is nothing illegal about it. There's been no Supreme Court decision. There's been no Attorney General's opinion. This came out of nowhere.
Would you, and it's a lot to say that he's trying to outdo Florida Governor DeSantis, but that's what it appears is going on here. Because DeSantis came out, I think late last year, earlier this year, saying no diversity when it comes to hiring and even curriculums in the state of Florida.
African-American studies. He came out most recently on that end. So this, I mean, honestly, we've seen this before. They did critical race theory. He said no wokeness. Governor Abbott in the state of Texas, we passed no critical race theory in Texas. And so this seems to be a competition for who could be the far right without any regards to how this is going to impact Texans. I've heard from more African Americans, more minorities about this issue than I have since the voting disaster when it came to the voter suppression bill. So in my 12 years in office, this is about the second worst, because voting is the most fundamental right we have. This is about the second worst thing that I've seen Governor Abbott do. And I've seen him do a lot of bad things, but this is a slippery slope. The next thing it would be, don't consider it for other hiring as well when it comes to our HUB program. The state of Texas has a historically underutilized business program that is designed to make sure that minority businesses that have historically been underutilized and discriminated against have an opportunity to compete for contracts. We have that in the state of Texas. City of Houston has an MWBE program. Harris County, if you may remember, just initiated one, and they had a disparity study that showed that 0.5% of the contract went to African Americans. So these programs are designed to really help give a boost and to encourage, but Governor Abbott is essentially closing the door to that.
Now, tell us, the press conference is scheduled for tomorrow. Give us a few details on that in the last 20 seconds we have.
Absolutely. So at 9 a.m. in the Speaker's Committee Room, I'm leading this press conference, and I have some stakeholders that are coming, including Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Commissioner Ellis, Mayor Turner may be there, members of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus and the Mexican American Legislative Caucus. We have a diverse group of people that are coming to this press conference to speak out. We're outraged, and we are going to let Governor Abbott know that we intend to do everything, including litigation, and calling on the NBA and NFL not to come to Texas if he goes through with this.